So my program is diamond prospecting in Murfreesboro, Arkansas, my Mother's Day retreat, May 2022. So there were a number of factors. There was something on my screen. There were a number of factors leading up to this trip. Number one, I was told to go after heavy rainfall. And number two, how was I going to get there? Was I going to drive? Was I going to fly? And then, of course, I'd have to grab a rental car and grab my hotels. So it just happened around Mother's Day. And like I say, Laura Dwyer gave me her book on diamond prospecting in Murfreesboro. So I had good resources and I went to Google Maps and I learned that it's going to be a 16-hour car ride. And I was going to go by myself. So I decided probably not to drive, but to fly. So on my flying benefit, here I am, Little Rock. I flew to DC, to Chicago, and then Little Rock. And voila, I got a little first class seat. So that was the beginning of my Mother's Day adventure. So naturally, I want to go on the website for Crater Diamond State Park to learn what kind of diamond I'm actually looking for. And sure enough, they're very specific, very individual, very kind of like melted looking. So here I arrive, gravel road, internet is scarce, at Crater Diamond State Park, Murfreesboro, Arkansas. It was established in 1972 as a state park. So when I was there last year, they were celebrating 50-year anniversary of actually being a state park. So in the middle here is a little historical equipment, and the building in the background is the welcome entrance, education zone, and a nice museum and video to kind of prepare the visitor for what to expect. So of course, here's the famous Crater Diamond State Park sign. And in the little museum area, you notice it says Kimberlite Mining and Washing Company. Back in the day, there were certain mining companies that came in to mine diamonds. But originally, crater diamonds is an eroded surface of volcanic crater. Lamproite is the volcanic material that erupted in the park's diamond-bearing pipe around 100 million years ago. And actually, there are 4 different types of lamproite. But the original beginning began in 1906. John Huddleston found the diamonds on his farm. And throughout history, various mining companies mined diamonds there. In 1972, Crater Diamonds became the Arkansas State Park. And to date, from the Crater Diamond State Park, they're saying they're totaling 35,000 diamonds have been found while it has been a state park. So this goes back to the original history. Here's Mr. John Wesley Huddleston. So early in the 20th century, a farmer named John Huddleston purchased the land near Murfreesboro, which included part of this volcanic material. In August 1906, he discovered the first diamonds on his property. So he was born 1860 and then died 1936. So here's another snapshot. This is actually from the GIA website. People have been searching for diamonds at Crater of Diamond State Park in Murfreesboro since 1906. And GIA is reporting 70,000 diamonds have been found in the park, including the Uncle Sam weighing 40 carats, which was found in 1924. And pay attention to Uncle Sam weighing 40 carats. That's going to show up later in my program. So like I said, historically, different mining companies came and went. But I want to focus on the geology, as you're probably interested in it too. So again, like in the little education area, I photographed some screens that I thought were pretty educational. So basically, we're looking at plate tectonics where South America, North America, and Africa are colliding. So this would be like 360 to 120 million years ago. And really, the collision caused the North American plate to be folded and lifted up, forming the Washita Mountains just north of the crater. So here you see the two volcanic areas, the lamproite areas, and the blue area. Is my mouse showing? I'm highlighting the blue area because that's the Washita Mountains. And
yes, you can see that, Kathy.
Yes,
yep,
it should.
good. Okay. If you recall Washita Mountains, that's the famous quartz locality of Arkansas. And again, that's going to be in the bonus section after my program. But basically, a unique set of crustal circumstances allowed the Prairie Creek volcano eruption. So here's another example of now the plates are pulling apart. This pull apart action caused deep-sided valleys to form. And then these valleys extended far down as the Earth's upper mantle and allowed the magma there to rise to the surface, and our Prairie Creek volcano erupted. And here's an example of, the ash blast as they're comparing it to Krakatoa. So chemical analysis have shown that volcanic rock here is chemically different than kimberlite diamond-bearing rocks in Africa. Our volcanic rocks are rich in potassium. The Prairie Creek volcano's lamproite lava contained large amounts of gas and water vapor. So basically different than kimberlite. The lamproite is showing a lot of potassium and actually magnesium. So here's a little graph, but we're going to get a close-up view. So what's different about Murfreesboro, this lamproite, it is in a martini glass shape. It's basically gas-rich explosion shot the resulting volcanic ash and bits of lava high into the air, just like a champagne that comes out of a champagne bottle when the cork is removed. Again, the ash cloud is compared to 1848 Krakatoa volcano, which was the largest volcano in history to erupt. So the ash cloud then collapsed and filled the 600-foot deep crater with ash. Later eruptions of lamproite lava pushed into the crater, but lava flowed out onto the surface. So this is where it gets interesting. In 1990-92, there were drill cores sampled of the volcanic pipe. That's how they were able to determine the width of the field and the depth. And this locality ranks 8th largest diamond-bearing pipe in the world in surface area because it's spread wide. So again, on the wall at the center is a very nice overview graph. The outside perimeter would be the crater boundary. The brown is going to be the volcanic lamproite lava. Crater Diamonds is going to be this area right here, the state park. And you can see all these little red dots. Those are the drill core locations. There are about 20 of them on this map. And the blue area would be, well, here's the visitor center. And then this is the Diamond Discovery Center where you rent your equipment and you have more information on preparing you to what you might find. I mean, diamonds is why we're there, but you'll see in my talk, they're hard to find. And again, here's some washing pavilions for the sluicing and the washing. So when we talk about lamproite, naturally we always go to Mindat first. So the drill core on the left is from Murfreesboro, Pike County, Arkansas. And the middle one is also from Murfreesboro. The one on the right is Australia. Again, there are certain lamproite fields around the world. Australia is one, India is one, and I'm sure there's others that just I don't know about them. But basically, as I said, lamproite, the rocks are rich in potassium and magnesium. And again, comparing it to kimberlite, because kimberlite are the majority of the diamond-bearing pipes around the world. And this is a completely different makeup than the lamproite. kimberlite, MinData is saying over 6,500 known occurrences are found of kimberlite. Very few of them are diamond bearing, of course. Okay, so let's get back to Murfreesboro. This is from the State Park website. Earlier, I said there are 4 different types of lamproite. This is a breccia tuff, which is most common, found throughout the park's diamond search area. This material appeared during the first explosion eruption of the volcanic pipe, carrying diamonds along with it. So if you see something like this, chances are could be diamonds. And then there's the lamproite lapilli tuff, formed from fused volcanic ash and dust during the eruption. Today it has a light green color and varies widely in density. Some pieces contain tiny fragments that are very hard, while other larger have fine grain and are softer. And the lapilli tuff contains flagellite mica. And yes, you will see mica. It's pretty common in the field. And this is the one that really doesn't contain diamonds. It's magmatic lamproite, filled pools of lava within the crater during later eruptions. So today it looks similar to breccia tuff, but it's much harder. To me, it kind of looks like conglomerate, rocks. And so this material is considered to be erupted slower than breccia tuff, vaporizing most of the diamonds within it. So again, if you run into this, guarantee no diamonds. And then the 4th lamproite example would be the Mar epiclastic, which is a 4th type of lamproite that formed in the crater, lakes from a mixture of surface sediments and volcanic material. Today, it has hard, gritty surface and a gray color. Okay, so again, the little museum gives you, it kind of whets your appetite of what you might find. For example, agate, amethyst, some barite, calcite, conglomerate, jasper, of course, the lamproite, the mica, quartz, sandstone, volcanic tuff. And here's something that interested me in the display. First of all, on the bottom, it says, did you know crater diamonds are 28% harder than most diamonds? That's interesting. But I like this little exhibit because naturally it shows the Mohs scale of hardness. And we all know that, the hardest will scratch the next softest and backwards softest. But there's something called a KNOOP scale. I actually don't know how it's pronounced, if it's Knoop or Noop. That they're saying a diamond is going to scratch the 9 softer minerals, and depends how hard the diamond, makes the scratch mark. That's the comparison of how hard a diamond is compared to the softer ones. And so then they're saying, using the Knoop scale, diamonds are shown to be 1,600 times harder than talc and 4 times harder than ruby. So now they give me a little preview. Okay, some yellow diamonds are sorting the white diamonds, sorting the brown diamonds, and then the industrial. And me as a diamond collector, I like to look for inclusions. And in the white and yellow, I don't see many inclusions. Maybe in the brown, certainly in the industrial. So here I begin my adventure, my Mother's Day adventure. I'm all by myself, and that's for a reason, so that I can spend the entire day just romping the field, prospecting for my new diamonds. Diamonds, plural, I said, didn't I? Okay, so I brought along in my suitcase, I never checked my luggage, so I brought my sifting screen. I picked up a little hand shovel and rake at the local store, because I didn't think I'd get that through security. Of course, I packed gloves, my loupe, magnifying glass, plastic tote, and an umbrella and hiking boots. An umbrella for the hot sun because it was 90 degrees and it gave me shade because there's basically no shade through this whole dusty field. And I rented a 5-gallon bucket and shovel and a wagon. Like I said, it was 90 degrees. It rained 3 inches days prior to this trip. So that's why I chose to come. So first thing in the morning, I did not get a wagon. The wagons were all rented out. So I was a little disappointed, but that was meant to be because walking through the field, it's very rough terrain. So my hiking boots were perfect for the trek. And again, here's my micromineral diamond field of dreams, a 37-acre lamproite field. So where do you start? Wherever you want. I just crisscross back and forth, sifting, raking, sifting. But really the clue is the diamond should just be there sitting sparkling. That's kind of how the history of people finding diamonds are, the lucky ones. So I was hoping that that would happen with me. It was a perfect sunshining day. So here's just a little bit of a water area that I kind of played in, just observing, you know, trying to sift a little bit in here. That's pretty much all you do all day, however long you need to be there. And so here's my screens. I have actually 3 little screens. And really, the diamonds at Murfreesboro are micromineral in size. So really, underneath my sifting is what matters to me. So at the little sluicing tables, they've got water troughs. I did not venture there. I just preferred to sand sift and just kind of walk with the naked eye and just kind of look at things with my magnifying glass or loop. But here people left behind. So I'm examining the left behind lamproite that people discarded. Now I learned that people there were using something called a Hrechka sluice. And it's basically a circular, and it might be like a larger grained or a cheesecloth kind of thing. And what they do is put the lamproite and they're sloshing it, swirling it under the water, just like you're panning for gold. You're working the water with the minerals and the diamonds. Now this is a flipped over result here. So if there was a diamond, it would be smack dab in the middle here. I believe this is barite. I don't know what the red mineral was, maybe jasper. But that's basically kind of the semi-professional way of prospecting here in Murfreesboro. So I learned something. So you're walking for hours, and all of a sudden, you know, the Crater Diamonds has it right. You know, they give you this little marketing appetite. Oh, the Amarillo starlight was found here, 1975 by Mr. Johnson from Texas. And he actually found a 16.37 carat, and then he had it cut to 7.54 carats. So little shovel signs kind of give you hope throughout the walking through the 37-acre field. Here's another one called Okie Dokie. Martin Culver from Oklahoma found a 4.5 carat canary yellow diamond near this particular location, March 2006. So there he is with his family. So here's another one, the Esperanza diamond found in 2015 from a gal from Colorado. And it's basically 4.6 carats. It's the 5th largest diamond ever found at the park. And she named it Esperanza after her niece, which the Spanish word means hope. Esperanza means hope. And then had it faceted to 4.6 carats. And this one's very interesting, called the Uncle Sam. So this is the largest diamond ever found in history. So here's the 40 carat. I actually looked on the internet for a better photo. I couldn't find it. This is the photo that they have on the shovel. So back in 1924, 40.23 carat diamond crystal was discovered by an employee for the Arkansas Diamond Mining Company. This is when, you know, it was going professional mining at some point. And later it was cut to a 14.34 carat parallelogram, shape and then recut to the current 12.42 karat emerald cut diamond. The diamond traveled from jeweler to museum to private owner before coming to the Smithsonian in 2019. And I learned this from Jeff Post, Dr. Post's book, Smithsonian National Gem Collection Unearthed. So then I contacted Dr. Post, thanked him for writing the book, and he gave me some inside information coming up. He invited me to the brand new opening in June for the Great American Diamond exhibit, which featured the Uncle Sam faceted, and that's the 12.42 karat, along with the 17.85 naturally occurring diamond from Arkansas. And these are part of the Roebling collection, and it was a gift from Peter Buck. Peter Buck is Subway sandwich. The other two diamonds are from Colorado. But again, my program is featuring Murfreesboro, Arkansas. So you've got to come to the museum and study this exhibit. Here we are close up. Now this is my photograph, so you know this color is wrong. The lighting with my cell phone didn't do it properly, because this emerald cut diamond is just beautiful gem white. So the Uncle Sam crater diamond, the Gemological Institute of America revealed that the Uncle Sam is a rare type 2A diamond with no nitrogen. Nitrogen, interjected to the carbon atom turns it canary yellow. So they're saying no nitrogen, right? It's clear. And it is the largest faceted diamond from Arkansas. And again, gift of Peter Buck Subway sandwiches. So then the naturally occurring diamond, which is 17.85 carats, it's the largest uncut diamond crystal from Arkansas. And it was discovered in 1917, later sold to Washington Roebling. So it was basically his son, after Mr. Roebling died, his son, John, donated Mr. Roebling's entire geology collection, which included these diamonds, or the one diamond. So in the museum, in the gem gallery, there's a whole gem wall of diamonds, but in the mineral gallery, we have a very nice exhibit featuring diamonds from the United States. And in the center are the Murfreesboro diamonds right here. So a little close up to the picture, of course, they show the field, and here's a 17.9 karat diamond. Do you see it? No. That's the diamond right here, I imagine. It's now in the new exhibit, but I don't know for sure. To have to check with Dr. Post on that. And then I can show a couple other little close-up. Again, here's a beautiful 12.9 and a 6 carat. These are huge diamonds for Murfreesboro. 2.6 carat, and then 1.2 to 2.7. Again, they're small, they're very small, naturally occurring from Murfreesboro. So then after my trip, after my visit to Murfreesboro, I went online and checked museum diamonds, Little Rock, and up came this Matilda and Carl Pfeiffer Museum. So I contacted them. I said, do you have any pictures? Do you have any pictures of diamonds in your museum? And they sent me this one photo, and look who photographed it, Jeff Scoville. So in the little museum at the Nature Center features the quarter 2003 with a diamond on it. And of course, license plates have the diamond. And here's why I have a program. Again, my Genuine Diamond book. After I got home, I went online, but then I called Glenn Worthington. I contacted him, his phone number was online, and I called him and I thanked him for publishing this book. It was very educational, had a lot of history. And I said, I'm thinking of making a program because I had such a great trip prospecting. And he said, Kathy, would you like any diamonds to show? And I'm like, yes, because without his helping me, I would not have had a program because I wouldn't have had any diamonds to show. Again, I went to his website. Here he is, Mid-Atlantic Prospecting. And I would encourage any of you to go on his website. I'm actually a subscriber for his YouTube channel because he actually has, he owns land right next to the park, and he has his own little prospecting machinery going. So he is actually finding diamonds himself. And again, he was published in Gold Prospectors magazine, Murfreesboro Diamond Prospecting. So this is Glenn Worthington. He sent me a number of these diamonds that I can share with you. So this is his Easter Sunrise, a 2-carat golden Easter Sunrise diamond he found in 2009. So all 3 pictures of the same diamond, it just shows a different angle. And he particularly enjoyed showing, the on end, calling it the fingerprint. I'll show you in just a minute what he's talking about. Again, this is his diamond on the postcard for Crater Diamond State Park. And Glenn made a little graph. He's saying out of the 35,000 diamonds that have been registered at Crater since 1972, 60% are white, basically clear, 21% are brown, 17% are yellow, and then 2% are other like orange, green, or black. So he's very involved at the center. So I really appreciate his outreach to me. So here's basically what's happening with the diamonds in Murfreesboro. They started as octahedrons, they're in the cubic crystal system. But in Murfreesboro, the diamonds are resorbed into tetrahexahedroids. So here's the growth. We know we start with the octahedron, but and I said earlier kind of melted because that's kind of how I view them, but it's a very specific reabsorption that's occurring. And here's a great example. This picture clearly matches up to this little diamond right here. So yellow diamond, a 2-point. So the one on the right is a 2-point. So if 100 points per carat, this diamond is so small that it's 1/50th of a carat. This is where we get into the micromineral diamond collecting, because that's basically, what Murfreesboro is producing, other than the super large. Again, this is one of Glenn's 8.82 carat Star of Shreveport, 5.7 carat Sunshine diamond, and the bottom, which I like the dark, is a 1.45 Black Beauty. Again, these are Glenn's diamonds. And here's one other with a different view, turning it around, different angle. Like I said, I try to look for inclusions, and these seem pretty clean. But here's a 1.45 yellow diamond, in the industry considered canary. This is a beautiful 1-carat yellow mackerel. Again, nitrogen. Mackerel are, they're and here's your the resorption edges, but mackerels are basically flat next to a 2-carat yellow. These are some beautiful 18-point, again, it's a 1/5 of a carat yellow diamond, nitrogen. 1% of the crater diamonds are mackerel. And here's an 18-point yellow diamond. But are you kind of understanding the shape of these diamonds? We don't see 90-degree angles on them. And then here's Glenn's wife's ring, Black Beauty diamond in the center, with 2 smaller diamonds on the sides. That's a lovely gift. And again, here's some other diamonds. This one is particularly interesting. Naturally occurring, he assured me it was not messed with, but it might be a little deformed on the top. And of course, this is, a selection. And, you might be thinking, well, what's so interesting about these little diamonds? They're different colors, but they're so small. What do you do with them? Well, guess what? This teenage girl from Oklahoma, Tanya, found a 3.8 carat yellow diamond, and someone paid her $20,000 for it. There's, a grand price tag to these per carat. And, talking with Glenn, he knew this whole situation, and Glenn assured me she was underpaid. So I unfortunately did not find my own naturally occurring diamond, so I had to go buy one. And there were shops around town, and I checked out a couple, and I settled on this one. And again, it's a 5-point diamond. It's awesome under the microscope. So basically, it's 1/20th of a carat. It's my silver pick, collected, actually purchased, May 11th, 2022. Well, guess what? May 11th, 2022, the Murfreesboro Diamond newspaper, I picked it up on my way to the airport. So I had picked it up after I had been in town in Murfreesboro. But in the inside, they're advertising that just a month prior, this huge diamond, 2.38 carat, they called it Frankenstone, was found, and it's for sale at Pawn Kings. So, and it's advertised brown with inclusions. And I'm interested in that sort of thing. So I called the merchant, and I asked him, well, by the way, I did not go to the pawn shop because I don't normally shop there, but that was a missed opportunity after reading this newspaper. I regret not going there because I would have been able to see this diamond. So I called and asked the price, and he wanted $1,000 for it. So it's a 2.3 carat, really messed up diamond. And certainly it was out of my price league. So I did not buy it. So here I'm happy Mother's Day. I go back home. Ken had lovely chocolate cake and flowers for me. But my story is not over. Since I didn't find my own naturally occurring diamond, Glenn on his website advertises, hey, I'll send you a 20-pound box of lamproite. Well, I decided to go for the 30-pound, but the shipping company, the post office, weighed it at 37 pounds. And I tell you, I was laughing so hard, it was so heavy. I had to stop laughing to even pick it up. But so it was shipped from Little Rock to Dulles, and then delivered at my garage door. So I pity the post office, delivery. Literally dropped it on my driveway by my garage door. So this is the end of my program. But I'm really not done because it's never ending. Here I am working through sifting all this lamproite that I got from Glenn, and I'm savoring it. I have my steps dried out in my cookie sheets, sift it in my screens, put it here. I've got another container by my microscope, to start viewing it. And okay, so I have a little bonus section. When I arrived in Little Rock, actually, my first day, I went to my first hotel because I scheduled my car rental for the next morning. And my van driver said, oh, are you here for Ron Coleman's, quarry? I'm like, Ron Coleman. Oh my goodness. So this is my bonus trip. Ron Coleman's famous for the quartz, right? For the mining. So basically, this was halfway, Ron Coleman was halfway in between Little Rock and Murfreesboro. So this is my actually first full day I ended up spending at the Ron Coleman mine, because I just wanted to see where all these huge quartz are found. And this is that famous quartz now at the Smithsonian. That was just installed like less than a year ago. So here I am, I signed up for a tour and I was the only person on this particular tour. It was like an army style vehicle that just rumbled down into all the way through into the bottom of the quarry. I was just so happy because I could sit on the left side, the right side, you know, because as we're going down, we're looking at the walls. And this was the best adventure for me. But if you notice, take a look, I forgot to show you, look at the background at the Smithsonian's backdrop of the famous quartz. And look at the backdrop right here. That's exactly the quarry. So here we are rumbling down. Here's a nice pocket of quartz right there. And then we're getting down toward the water. And like I say, it rained 3 inches prior to my arrival. And so actually rain was in the quarry too. They're trying to pump it out. They had a lot more water in the quarry than necessary. But taking that vehicle, it was just amazing. I mean, you would all love being on that vehicle just because it just kind of chugged down very slowly and, you know, whirled around and backed up as if we're going to, you know, back into the water. That was my last view right here at the lower part. Okay, so this is heading back up to the Nature Center, but actually, see this building right here? He did not allow me to take pictures in it because it was all the retail wholesale. Oh my God, the quartz were so beautiful. I just, you know, I touched some of them, but I know I was on security cameras and everything, but I just couldn't help myself. Because I couldn't photograph anything, I just wanted to like touch the quartz. Well, here I did touch the quartz. I'm in the showroom now. Now we're back in the education center, and they have a huge showroom with a whole bunch of other minerals, but all I focused on were the huge quartz. And that just made my day. But of course, diamond prospecting was the reason for this trip. So I really got a 2-for-1 because I originally was going to plan to sift for diamonds 2 days. But actually this was meant to be because the temperature was so hot. This broke up my 2-day trip so that I could spend the whole day at Jessieville first. I decided not to collect because I didn't want to collect quartz. I just enjoyed the adventure down into the mine. Okay, that's the end of my program.